What's up, fellas? It's your favorite commissioner here. Another edition of the League 10 or the League 8 recap. We have Week 11 this week, and I tell you, each one of these is getting more and more interesting, more and more exciting, more stuff to talk about. So instead of doing some long, drawn-out intro that no one gives a shit about, let's just dive right into it. And speaking of dive right into it, let's just get this out of the way as well. Like I said, as we all know, last week Don was officially eliminated from playoffs. So he is one of four teams that will be competing for the plate. And this week he took on Dennis, who is in ninth place. Dennis won, which, good for him. That's great and everything. But he did beat a team that's 1-10. And he's still in ninth. So, I mean, really, like I said, let's just get this out of the way super quick. Don had 84 points, but did not get the weekly low score. My apologies, Don. For some reason, I had it in my head that when I looked at the scores on Monday morning, that you had locked up the low score, but you didn't. So at least he had that going for you, which is nice. Dennis beat Don 102-84. Pretty horrible matchup between these two teams. Let's just quick buzz through this. Dennis had Jimmy Garoppolo go off for 31 points, which is great. He sat the right quarterback in Kyler Murray, who had 27 points. So, I mean, there's something there. Robert Woods got him 0 points. Don had, like I said, had 84 points. He literally had 83 points on his bench. So if that tells you anything, not only about, well, I shouldn't even say Don's team, because if his bench is scoring 83 points, that's pretty good. It tells you something about his managerial skills. He had Mark Ingram get him 23 points. Marlon Mack managed to get him 16.9, but it sounds like he's pretty much, I would assume, done for the year, at least done for the fantasy year. But yeah, he sat Todd Gurley 20 points, sat Baker Mayfield 22 points, sat Tariq Cohen 18 points. I mean, obviously, you should start Baker Mayfield over Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady only got you 8.5 points, but that's why you're in last place, and that's why you suck. But hey, you didn't get the weekly low score, but you did lose to Dennis. But like I said, don't matter. Don's magic number is 7, which has no relevance, and Dennis's magic number is 4, with 2 weeks to go. So that means that Dennis needs to win out and have whoever's in 7th place lose out, which good luck with that. All right, now let's jump up to the going from the 9th place versus 10th place to 1st place versus 2nd place. And we officially have our first lockup of the year. Perk got it done. His magic number was 1 last week, and we all knew that was coming, but he did not do it on his own. He needed help from yours truly, who is in 7th place still. He lost to Brandon. Close matchup, 144 to 145. So pretty close. I don't know. We were at the bar last night watching the game. I was more focused on pulled tabs. He was worried about his fantasy team, which, priorities, right? But yeah, I think he needed Phillip Rivers or something to happen, or Keenan Allen. I don't remember. Whatever, don't matter. Anyways, Perk lost, but he locked up playoffs. He's in 1st place at 8-3. Brandon, with the win, is in 2nd place, up to 7-4. The matchup goes as follows. Perk had Dak Prescott 32 points. He had Stephon Diggs 23 points, and he had Michael Gallup 24 points. Not bad. Well, I was going to say he started the right people, because the people on his bench were either on a bye, scored 0 points. But the 2 people on his bench that scored 0 points were not going to play anyway. So he basically had no other choice but to play the players that he played. Brandon, like I said, wins with Drew Brees getting him 21 points, Keenan Allen getting him 21 points, Alvin Kamara 22 points, Austin Eckler 21 points. He sat DJ Chark, who had 30 points, which is pretty good. But hey, who cares? A win is a win. So Brandon, like I said, up to 7-4. His magic number is 1. So he either needs a win next week, or whoever ends up in 7th place to lose. And I believe there are 3 people with a magic number of 1. So you're going to hear that number a couple times, a couple more times, anyways. Staying in the playoff race, we have Mitch versus Matt. Matt was the recipient of the weekly low score. So again, Mitch did not win. He just simply played the team who had the worst score. Matt down to 6-5 and in 6th place, the last team in. Mitch up to 6-5 and in 5th place. He beat Matt by, 50 points, something like that. I don't know, whatever. Big number. Matt Novak had Tyreek Hill, who got hurt. I think, wasn't it like in the first quarter of last night's game or something like that? Otherwise, he sat John Brown from Buffalo, who had 35 points, which it still wouldn't have got him the win, but, whatever. But yeah, 81 points, that's pretty horseshit, Matt, but, hey, you're still in the playoff race, so at least you got something to, be excited about. Mitch, on the other hand, ooh, didn't even realize this. Deshaun Watson, 5 points, that sucks. He could have started Brian Hoyer, who had -2 points on his bench, but, so, believe it or not, Mitch actually did pick the right quarterback to start, which got him 5 points. Well, hey, you know what? As teams that make the playoffs, such as Mitch's team right now, that's how you get in, by making those tough decisions. Do you start Deshaun Watson or do you start Brian Hoyer? That's what separates the men from the boys. Christian McCaffrey keeps doing awesome for him, 30 points, no surprise there. Yeah. So anyways, like I said, both of these teams are at 6 and 5 and in 5th and 6th place. Obviously, both of them have the same magic number, and that magic number is 2. Next matchup, we have Nick and Corey. And it looks like Nick got the win this week. It was not too bad of a matchup, a 13-point differential. Nick is up to 7 and 4 and in 4th place. Corey's in 4 and 7 and in 8th place. Looking at the matchup here, Nick had Michael Thomas, 25 points. He had Travis Kelce, 22 points. He sat Buffalo's quarterback, 34 points. Which, again, Mahomes or Allen, what are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to start Mahomes. So, but yeah, he won. Congrats. Keeps himself in the playoff race in 4th place. Corey, like I said, on the other hand, in 8th place. Let's take a look at his matchup. Doesn't look like he picked up Matt Ryan. He wanted him so bad last week. I don't know why he didn't go get him this week. Whatever. But he did have Kirk Cousins, who had 23 points. So, hey, something better than nothing. His kicker got him 0 points, which, because he missed a field goal and he got a PAT. So, 0 points. Yep, that works out. Otherwise this team pretty much sucked. His bench had some points left on it, which, starting the right people, he probably could have pieced together a winning roster, but hey, who cares? He's in 8th place. His magic number, much like Father's, is 4, so he needs to win out and have the 7th place team lose out, which, not saying it's impossible. Dennis and Corey, believe it or not, have not officially been eliminated from playoffs, so they're still technically in the race. Nick, on the other hand, he is one of the several people who has a magic number of 1. Whoops. And then that brings us to the matchup of the week. Okay, and let's see who made it this week. Yeah, we had Nate. Hey, good job, Nate. Congrats. You made the matchup of the week. And, cool. I won it too. Or I got in too. That's pretty sweet. I, as a famous band once said, I had high hopes, but going into this week. But it ended up being closer than it should have been, but I still lost, which is all that really matters. 112 to 128. I needed Hunter Henry to get -1 points last night and break his leg. Neither of those things happened, unfortunately. I am at 5 and 6 and in 7th place. Nate is 7 and 4 and in 3rd place. And so I am the 7th place team for I think the 3rd week in a row now, which means that my 6 losses are the one half of the magic number equation. So nobody's magic number should have moved more than 1. Matchup wise, I'm about ready to shoot Juju Smith-Schuster in the head. He's been fucking worthless for me all year. I'm about ready to what is Nate, you would know. Text me. What does Church call it? You not phantom drop, but you drop somebody so everybody bids on him. Nate would know when he's done gobbling Church's cock. I had Calvin Ridley get me 28 points. My defense, 13, which who gives a shit? I had to start J.D. McKissick. Like, are you fucking serious? T.J. Hawkinson. I had to start 2 Detroit Lions this week. That's how fucking dog shit my team is right now. But hopefully Kittle comes back and I can whoop up on whoever I have next week. Nate, on the other hand, Lamar Jackson, 33 points. That was, he had a good week. 128 points. It's fine, but nothing fancy. My magic number is at 3. Like I said, Nate's magic number is at 1. And since we're getting down to almost the end of the regular season, we have 2 weeks left. Like I said, this was week 11. We go through week 13. So this week and next week are the last 2 weeks of the regular season. And as you all know, we have $50 for best record in the regular season and $50 for the most points in the regular season. Right now, Perk is 1 game ahead of 3 other teams. He's at 8-3. The other 3 teams are at 7-4, and there's 2 of you guys at 6-5. So technically, 6 people are still in the hunt for the $50. Which, just thinking out loud here, I don't think we ever had a tiebreaker decided. I mean, I know the initial thought would go to if 2 teams had if 2 teams had the same record, you'd go by points. But we're also awarding points, so do you just? I assume nobody watches this, so I'm probably just talking to myself here. But if anybody has any thoughts on that, let me know. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I mean, I'm fine doing however you guys want to do it. I really couldn't care less. I'm fine with if 2 people end up with the same record and splitting it, or if you want to go by points. I don't care either way. Let me know your thoughts. Shoot me a text. Anyways, and then we have the $50 for the most points. And as I said last week? Yeah. 7 of us, I'm going to include myself, even though I'm a long shot. We're all within 100 points of each other. Granted, with 2 weeks left, that's a lot of ground for some of us to make up. But right now, the leader for points is Brandon. 2 points behind him is Nate. And then we have Mitch in 3rd as far as points go. Perk is in 4th. Nick is in 5th. Matt's in 6th. And I'm in 7th as far as points go. And then there's a 100 and some odd point drop off to the bottom 3 feeders. But yeah, so something to keep in mind. Whatever. Yeah. So good luck to whoever still has something to play for. I mean, which is technically everybody except for Perk and Don. Perk's already in. Don's already out. Yeah. So good luck to Brandon, Nick, and Mitch. And I guess technically, Brandon, Nick, and Nate, sorry. And technically Mitch and Matt as well. Technically, all 6 playoff spots could be locked up this week. Probably won't happen, but you never know. So anyways, that's the week 11 recap. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.